Let's start the show. Oh my god, I actually fixed it. Wow. Okay. Yeah. With Alex on, when we did the one by one there, instead of the three of us, I had to move everything around. So I was really hoping that I would line that up right. Like, I'm starting to figure out how OBS works here. So how is it going, everyone out there in chat? There we go. Getting the show started. So the first thing that I want to say to all you out in chat is you were absolutely awesome Wednesday with Alex. All of the questions, the interaction, the stuff, you took it exactly in the places I was hoping you would take, so that's awesome. I'm gonna bring more people like him on, there is a surprising amount of people like him who, if you had known, you would have known, were hiding out in, hacker places, but also in Hollywood in like the 90s and 80s. Just a strange group of kids. So we'll bring at least one more, if not a couple more of them on.
I mean, aren't we all strange kids?
Oh, yeah. Well,
realistically speaking.
Everyone who can tell me they were on EFNet in 1993 is a fucking weirdo. I mean, come on, seriously. Like, right? I mean, what were you doing? How did you find it? Like, like, who did you know that was a friend of yours that was already there by then that got you on? You know what I mean? Like, you were not the normal popular kid. Like, I'm not saying you couldn't have been popular. You just weren't the normal popular kid around, like, if that's where you were. And I was there, so I'm not dogging on anyone but myself on that one. I mean, I was on IRC before that, so, like, yeah, but it was a lot of fun with him on Wednesday, and I'm glad you were there, Kurt. Obviously, in the chat, watching along.
I wasn't gonna miss that one for the world.
Right? He's amazing, and I mean, his choice of documentary coverage is like exactly the documentaries I want to see made.
Yeah.
Downloaded Deep Web, the Trust Machine, the newer one on the blockchain is amazing. I hope everyone went and watched all that fun stuff. Especially the ones that he has up, like the 20-minute one with Barrett that's on his website, Barrett Brown. I mean, the first time I signed on to what would become EFNet, it was not EFNet yet. It was just IRC because there wasn't really multiple networks at that time. But then one server decided to go and be a bunch of pricks, and that server had to go. And so the new network was just named in honor of that server going. A lot of people don't know, but EF means Eris Free. And it was the Eris Free network because the Eris server was banned from reconnecting to the damn network. Because fuck those guys. The old times.
No link for you.
Right? So good times. Yeah, EFNet is, that negative naming of it is Eris Free to this day. There's a lot of fun stuff to talk about. I want to start out with something a little, jovial, something that I find funny. We had this week, me and a couple of the other people in chat here, we watched the House hearing where Robinhood CEO and the head of Citadel and Melvin and all these other people all talked, but DeepFuckingValue, which is the only name I'm going to call him by, also spoke to the House. And first, I mean, the first thing he said to the United States House of Representatives committee here was, "I am not a cat." So he opened with, "I am not a cat." And
he memed hard. Like, he was fucking going for it.
But then, in the background, he had a picture up on the wall that said, "Hang in there." And people, might not have caught it, but that "hang in there" was actually in the background in a few scenes with Elliot in Mr. Robot, and it was a call out to Mr. Robot. So that was kind of funny. But the best part is really what I'm going to show you here.
The money will go such a long way for us. We had an incredibly difficult 2020. Most difficult was the tragic and unexpected loss of my sister Sarah in June. I am grateful to be in a position to give back to and support my family. As for what happened in January, others will have to explain it. It's alarming how little we know about the inner workings of the market. And I am thankful that this committee is examining what happened. I also want to say that I support retail investors' right to invest in what they want, when they want. I support the right of individuals to send a message based on how they invest. As for me, I like the stock. I'm as bullish as I've ever been on a potential turnaround for GameStop, and I remain invested in the company.
So he actually said to everyone, the I like the stock. And now, I expected him to fit it in, right? But, like, it just, in the flow of how he made it work, like, it was perfect. Of course, Reddit went nuts with all of their memes about it, but just having him meme that hard at the house the whole time, he memed, like, the entire time it seemed like he was being half serious about, like, we really don't actually understand how half of this works, and they shouldn't have been able to do what they did, but also then memeing the whole damn time at the same time. It was, I
feel like the memes are why they probably went after him so hard. If they didn't make a gigantic fucking joke of this whole thing,
yeah,
I feel like that added some insult to injury, and that's the only reason why they're so pissed off. Which means you need to meme fucking harder.
Yeah, right? Like, it's, yeah. So, anyways, I thought him saying, I like the stock to fucking the house on C-SPAN, like, it's rare that you get to see good memeing on C-SPAN. So you gotta watch it when it's coming,
Yeah.
Now, I will say this.
Seeing Bloomberg having a breakdown of all of the terms, like tendies and all of that, just, oh, God.
He said tendies to them as well. It was great. It was, the whole thing, it was just, I know there's all kinds of problems with the way that went down and, his actual past knowledge being a little more than had been let on, but he's still, in the end, really a retail trader. Just because he was licensed doesn't mean shit. Getting those licenses is not actually hard. That's like saying he's a used car dealer who's allowed to show Ford's logo. He, did, one minor piece of paperwork. Those licenses are easy to get. Anyways, it was just, I thought it was fucking hilarious, personally. It
was.
Now, what I also thought was really funny, if you actually watched it, you saw, whenever they kept showing, the person with the largest short who got hurt, pretty badly in all of this, Plotkin, from Melvin and everything, his office was empty but for one printer. Like, nothing on the walls, nothing on the desk. Like, it was the most barren place. Like, it looked like he placed the printer in the shot so it didn't look like he was some homeless man squatting in someone else's office at this point. And I gotta say, that was the look I was hoping for someone like that. Like, it was great. I enjoyed it immensely.
That is some good shit. When memes collide with reality, magic happens 100% of the time.
Really does. Yeah, so then obviously we need to spend at least a minute tonight celebrating the death of Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah!
Because
he finally did something good for Black History Month.
Right? Wow, yeah, that is a way to look at it. Right? A lot of people will argue not to, talk shit about a dead man, not to revel in someone's, great loss or the family's loss or anything else. But no, because he spent so much time doing it.
Live your life in a way where people will not celebrate your fucking death. Let's just put it that way.
Also, just look at his entire career was him doing that to other people. So you can't really say that, he didn't have it coming.
Yeah. It's just, ugh.
Oh, the liberals, they want you dead for your beliefs.
The bits
have you looked at your beliefs?
Yeah.
You kind of want a lot of other people dead.
He kind of said it all the time.
Oh, nonstop.
So, I mean, he had an entire bit for like 5 years where every week he would read off the names of gay people who died of AIDS and laugh while playing a soundtrack and hitting a little horn button every time he did it. So, celebrate this man's death. I wish it was more painful. Lung cancer sucks. So, like, I'm sure it wasn't fun, but, like, it should have been a lot worse than it was. Like, he really deserved more.
Woo.
Yeah. I'm not just reveling in his death. I'm wishing it was more painful.
Indeed.
There you go. I'll drink to that.
Right? So Jeremy in the chat says that he thinks DeepFuckingValue is going to make a run for Republican office in the future. That would be hilarious. Utterly hilarious. Sure, why not? Let's go. Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, like, I mean, I could see it happening. I could honestly see it happening, and I could see him rallying the Wall Street Bets people. But, like, you know, one of the things that I also found really interesting about everything that happened was, so DeepFuckingValue cashed out at 13 million. So DeepFuckingValue got his. But he didn't just walk away. He bought the dip. So he literally just posted results again today from buying the last 2 days. Like, he put a bunch of it right back in at its low point. And he's up another 2.8 million on buying the dip again. So, I mean,
Not bad.
this person has found out how to, like, weaponize Reddit users for his own good. And I gotta say, I mean...
Hey, don't implicate him too much. He is currently being investigated.
Oh, no, I don't think he's doing anything illegal. I think he's just figured out how to get a bunch of other people to help him make money, which I think is great. Like, you know, the funny thing about old Chan culture, not your personal army, is you had to scream it and fuck everyone who asked for a personal army, but at the same time, anyone who did it and actually got that personal army, I would sit back there and golf clap for. Like, well done rallying the troops, sir. You know? So, like, not your personal army, but also good job getting a personal army.
Yeah, it's magical when it happens. Like, when everybody just is collectively like, hey, wait, fuck that guy.
Right?
Or fuck that company, or fuck that country, or fuck that world government, or fuck that military coup, or, well, we're going to get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Or over there.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Eric Prince, all the fun stuff. You know, the other thing to, you know, announce for people who weren't paying attention is, as of today, we are actually officially back in the Paris Climate Accord. Now, I mean, yes, great, but it's like, that's one piece of a much bigger puzzle, and without the Green New Deal to back up our commitment to the Accord, it won't really matter. It's still only on paper. Yeah, exactly. It is the bare minimum. And that's all it is. So we still need the Green New Deal for this one. Like, we still need a lot more. A lot more.
Biden rescinding the no deportations thing. That's a whole bunch of shit.
You know, well, I mean, again, you know, Biden was never our guy. He was just not Trump.
Exactly.
That was literally the extent that he got from me. That was, you know, I still wanted... I mean, I would have taken any number of people over him, but, you know, and the lesser of two evils is true and also a horrible argument at the same time. It can be both, and I believe it to be because he was the lesser of two evils, but we had a better than both option, and it just didn't happen.
I love it when people come at me all the time. They're like, "Oh, you hate Trump. What does Biden do?" I'm like, I fucking hate Biden too. Like, seriously. I'm not even an American. So no, I'm not some libtard and shit. And basically, fuck off, go away.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But now, sticking to the politics side of things here, it has been a great week for Ted Cruz. By great week for Ted Cruz, I mean great week for Ted Cruz memes. The amount of places people have put him now. My favorite was the one from today where they put him next to the Perseverance lander on Mars, with his luggage next to him. But yeah, I mean, just
my favorite one was the photoshopped one from the Capitol riot where he was carrying off a margarita.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
that was a good one.
Yeah, no, I mean, so my whole family's down in Texas. You know, they've lost power, they've lost everything, heat, all of it. And, you know, we have some people in chat who have survived down there in Texas, but definitely had their trials and been working through it, and luckily made it through. Good job down there, San Antonio, getting it done. I wouldn't normally say that, but you literally have the name in your name, so, like, it's kind of hard not for people to recognize. But, you know, so it's just watching him leave the state after complaining about other people going on vacations during crises for like years is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
He even tweeted dunking on someone else for doing the same thing about a year
Exactly
and a half.
The same thing.
Yeah.
And then he spends this morning blaming his children. What a stand-up guy. Like,
My children stopped me from serving the people that I was elected to serve. My children, who are also people that I was elected to serve.
Yes. And so while Ted Cruz fled the state and hid out on a beach for a day, AOC ran a fundraiser and raised over $1 million to help the people of Texas with all the problems that are arising from this. You know, there's a difference between the people who are elected for their own power and the people who are elected to help the people. You know, you can kind of tell. One fled the state to go out, hang out down there, and the other, actually it's up at $2 million now, raised. So, like, just, you know, there's a reason we like AOC and we don't like him. You know, I mean, I think it should be abundantly clear to people by now. And I'm going to have conversations with my family over the next couple days down there and see if, you know, this might kick something off where it makes some sense to them finally.
I hope it does, because, like, you know, people were cutting up their fences. People were taking the slats from their bed frames and going and making fires to stay warm. That is how bad things degenerated in Texas, and that is just fucking insane.
Absolutely insane. But I mean, they had no preparation for this. None.
I always thought Texas was a hot state.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there was also that tweet by Cruz, you know, saying something about when Texas freezes over. Well,
that wasn't real. That was a Photoshop.
Oh, come on, that was beautiful.
Oh, it was too perfect almost. Oh, turns out it was too perfect.
Right.
Sad.
Right. Yeah, so, you know, I don't know. It's fun making fun of Ted Cruz, and people should continue to do it. Now, Beto O'Rourke also, he did a lot of great work. I'm not a big fan of a lot of his policy decisions, but he's much too centrist and liberal for me. He's not a progressive, but he did a lot of the work that, you know, progressives would have done at the same time, you know, so, like, it's
a ratcheting thing.
He's not as bad as Biden, you know.
The right keeps rationing things further and further and further and further, and then the liberals, the Democrats, kind of have to maintain that lockstep. So anybody that stays as close to center or left of center as possible, good on them. Because let's face it, what is that hack university? Prager?
Yeah, PragerU.
Yeah, PragerU. Even they were like, liberals, the left want you dead.
Not dead, but I would like them to go away.
It was it was probably the most, aside from the whole death thing, it was probably the most truthful statement from the right, any sort of right-wing shithole about
right.
the nature of liberals. that I have ever seen. It's like, wow, they just said it. Wow, they fucking okay.
Oh yeah, no,
we're at this point now. This is good. This is really good. At least they're able to admit it.
Yeah, the Gravel Institute is definitely the anti-PragerU. You know, PragerU follows me, and so, like, they call me out on Twitter, like, every like 4 or 5 weeks, I'll get a retweet from them where they quote tweet and call me, you know, some dirty pejorative from the left. You know, like, they just go nuts, and I really enjoy it, because then I get to join in those comments on it, and it is just a shit fest of horrible posts and like threats and everything else, and it's actually really entertaining. Like, no one following PragerU is intelligent, so like it's just funny. Like, the whole thing, it's kind of tragic too, but it's funny. It's like funny tragic, you know.
You get PragerU, I get Louise Mensch.
Yeah, right. I think I won that one. You know, I don't know how, because like I do dealing with her is so hard.
Sorry, I don't get Louise Mensch because I'm currently banned from Twitter. And
I'm
really fucking miserable about this.
But, you know, for people talking about Beto, like someone mentioned that Beto was a CDC hacker. I wanna clear one little thing up. Like, back in those days, yes, Beto was there. He was also on early IRC, too. Good old psychedelic warlord. But he was, how to put this? He was a fan fiction writer, not a hacker. I mean, yeah, he was okay with the computers, and he could kinda, but like, if there's 10 people that are circling the CDC name and are kind of in the group, out of the group, but around the group, then in a room, the other 9 get first dibs on doing whatever needs to get done today, and he sits off in the corner watching. Like, he was there, and if the other 9 are busy, he would have done it, but like, he was not the top of the group. Like, he was the one writing a lot of shit. And if you actually go look up Psychedelic Warlord, and you look up some of the shit he used to write, like, off his rocker, like, insane as a child. Like, he wrote some really sick shit.
I mean, so did I.
Well, yeah, but, you know, you didn't have an honest run for U.S. president, you know, either. Like, it was like,
I
wow. should. I'd vote for you.
There you go. Right there, just deconstructed your argument. But yes, valid points otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and I'm not even dogging on him. Like, he was there, he was in the right places at the right times with the right friends. Like, I mean, just, there were way better people than him at that moment in that group, and so he was kind of the third wheel. So, like,
yeah,
you know, ugh. So, you know, Neera Tanden sucks. You know, for people who don't know, Neera Tanden was nominated by Biden for the office of OMB, the chair for the cabinet position, and office of management budget. You know, it's a big position. It really matters, and Neera Tanden is anti-progressive, like actively, union busting, and when one of the lefties at her paper/website Think Progress basically talked back to her, she punched him in the face, the chief editor of Think Progress, before then closing it down because they tried to unionize. She spends most of her time talking about policy, talking shit on progressives and progressive ideals. So I don't want her in. Now, come today, Joe Manchin, senator from West Virginia, speaks out against her nomination, with the right also not wanting her, with the Republicans saying no way to her. That makes it very hard for her to have a chance at actually getting it now, so I'm happy, right? But everyone's responding online about, well, yeah, but that's not why Joe Manchin doesn't want her. I'm like, I don't care why he doesn't want her. I just don't want her to have the job, and right now he's the one accomplishing that. Yeah, fuck Manchin. He's a fucking centrist douchebag who does, like, whatever kind of the party narrative is right now. Like, he just goes with the flow. He's the most, like, I don't know, just do-nothing piece of shit there is on that side of things for the centrists. Like, he literally does whatever's coming up next. And you can kind of tell this about him on any of the skits he does when he's interviewing for, like, TV news like MSNBC or anything. He just kind of, whatever you expect the party line to be comes right out of his mouth. And for him to speak out against her, it's really important because it really does mean she's probably not getting the job. So for everyone online screaming, well, yeah, but that's not why he wants her, so this isn't right. You shouldn't support him. I don't support him. I just don't want her to have the job. And he's the one accomplishing that right now. So thanks, Joe. Also, fuck you, Joe. But, like, whatever. Like, I mean, I can hold both of those in my head at once. I know they're, like, two different ideas, but I can actually think them both at the same time. So fuck Neera Tanden. Hopefully she doesn't get it. So
you see, whenever you talk like really in depth with U.S. politics, I always find myself at an impasse because I'm like, okay, not everything happens to cross my path.
Right. Yeah, Manchin is the new Lieberman, which of course to you probably is like, who are those people?
First rule of George Soros Club is we don't talk about George Soros Club.
Seriously. Now you want to talk about Michael Soros? Now that guy knows how to party. Yeah, his sons became New York socialites, and they party a lot. Let's see here. I want to mention before we get into some of the deeper subjects that we decided that we wanted to play Minecraft a few days ago. So when we figured out that was really hard to do, and like you had to like pay someone for a server or like set up these stupid realm things or whatever, I just said fuck it and made a server. So the server rec that you guys are all used to, the cluster here is now running this cluster that's up on your screen. That bottom server there has given 6 of its CPUs and 96 gigs of RAM to a Minecraft server, which is way too much. So it should handle it just fine. So if you were on our Discord, you would know this. You would have already joined, had fun. So you can definitely join the Discord.
I don't even own Minecraft because I always felt bad about giving Notch money.
Well, I didn't play either for that exact same reason. The fact that he no longer has any piece and now is completely out, doesn't even have stock or anything, means I can play again. Or I can start to play. I mean, it really sucks that technology-wise, Notch and the Oculus guy, Palmer Luckey there, both became billionaires, and they're both like fucking neo-Nazi scumbags.
I have a release day Oculus Rift, and I feel bad about that almost.
Yeah, so I won't use that. I tried the Vive, but I don't know. It did that the tech isn't there for me yet. Maybe with what
your
Apple's
glasses
putting together.
wearer.
Yeah, but maybe with what Apple's putting together, because now they're going to put an 8K screen on each eye. Maybe it'll finally get to enough depth where I don't get motion sick from it.
How are they going to drive that?
It's going to have its own of their new M-class Apple Silicon in the actual thing. And then it's going to rely on that and the computer it's connected to, both, over 40 gig Thunderbolt.
So it's going to have a GPU on board.
GPU and CPU on board, both Apple's own silicon.
And is this going to be compatible with the Steam and Oculus library via a shim?
We don't know yet. I think the community will probably attempt to make that happen if they don't. But I'm not even bringing it up because I could ever possibly afford it. I'm just saying, like, for VR, like, the Vive and the Oculus both, like, make me motion sick. So, like, I just can't do it.
One thing, people know that I'm huge into rhythm games. They know that I have a Rift, and they keep bugging me, and they're like, you need to fucking stream Beat Saber. So that's something that's been stuck in the back of my mind. It's like, yes, I can fucking rig up a camera. You can watch me flail around like a madman. So I might actually get around to doing that one of these days, sooner or later.
Well, I mean, tell me. I have to ask you because of that. Tell me that you have, you've watched the movie DFP.
I spent...
Because we watched it for movie night last weekend.
Yes, I know. I'm the one that suggested that movie in the first place.
Okay.
All right. So, yes, I am a rhythm game aficionado. During the height of the insurgency, I was either one of three places. I was either at a rave, at at my computer ruining shit online, or I was at the downtown arcade fucking grinding In the Groove and Dance Dance Revolution.
Yep.
I have a thumb drive that still has my profile data from In the Groove 2 that states that I was burning between 6,000 and 8,000 calories a day.
That's unhealthy unless you are like eating like tons of protein bars or something.
No, I was eating trash like left and right, and I was a fucking twig. Like people thought that I was a fucking meth addict. I was so skinny, but no, I was just playing fucking DDR that hard.
Nice.
I was one of those weirdos that was like doing trick moves and spins and stuff because I had learned the step chart so well.
Yep.
So anytime I went there, it was just a crowd would form around me, and there were a handful of people that would come up to me and be like, "Yo, are you Kurt?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" Like, I fucking love you. I'm like,
nice.
"Okay, all right, cool, all right. Let's want to do a twofer. Okay, let's do this." So
that's gonna have to be a thing because my wife's a big DDR fan too.
Okay, I have a $300 DDR pad that I am refurbishing.
Nice.
I gotta rig up an Arduino to give
good
it
exercise.
To give it a USB interface. So I would gladly stream me getting back into it because it's been a long time. I'll probably get fucking winded as fuck.
Nice.
But if you are at all familiar with DDR, I was one of those people that was just doing tens and doing AA, In the Groove. I would be doing 12s, 13s, and not dying. So, yeah, I was really, really, really into that shit.
That's awesome.
And that is actually why when you see old photos of me, I was a goddamn twig because I played shitloads of DDR.
Nice. Good cardio.
Really good cardio. I like it would be in the dead of winter, like February. No, snowing outside, and I would go out for a smoke break from in between rounds. I'd put my quarter up, and go outside, and I would just have nothing but just my t-shirt on, like -10, -20, and I'd be either smoking a joint or smoking a cigarette. And steam would just be pouring off my fucking body. It's just absolutely surreal. Funny anecdote: a pack of cops walked by me while I was smoking a joint one time outside the arcade, and this is a testament to how amazing Canada is. This was long before legalization. This was like 2006. Cops were just like they slowed down a little bit. And I was just like, eh. And they all took their hats and were just like, eh, and kept walking. So, there you go.
Nice.
Canada fucking rules.
And ACAB.
Yeah, I had a similar experience a couple of years before that in Canada. So that's not an isolated thing.
No, they never give a shit, and God bless them.
Just walked right on past, not caring.
I was usually sober while playing DDR and ITG. So, yeah. And also, yes, Canadian Glen raises a good point. If I were black, that would probably have been different. But I digress.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah, so good times. Yeah, the FP, if anyone hasn't seen it, is
the FP
disturbingly
movie.
bad.
It's like, imagine if Fallout and Dance Dance Revolution had a baby. Where post-apocalyptic gang warfare and gang disputes are settled over bouts of Dance Dance Revolution. It is a fucking rad movie.
But then also remember that, like, you know, we're all at this point working on how, you know, good our political correctness is, and you know, the pronouns, and the white people can't say the N-word even jokingly, and all these other things that we all have to focus on and we have to work to maintain, right? And some people more than others, but like I think I've got most of all of that down. But that movie has a lot of motherfucking white people saying words they shouldn't say. A lot of them. It's so, like, if you're gonna watch it, you know, just know that going in that you're going to be offended by some of the language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but having a ground floor of its post-apocalyptic gang disputes being settled through bouts of Dance Dance Revolution should give you enough background to know that it's probably going to be really fucking weird.
Yeah, in their battles, when they're battling one-on-one in two different, DDR games, in this movie, The FP is its name, you can actually 187 someone and, they die on the pad. They never quite describe how that happens or why the person has fallen down and can't get back up,
And it's called The FP because FP stands for full perfect.
So it's called FP for 3 reasons. One, there's the dude in the beginning whose initials are that. Then they say the full perfect thing when they're showing the game the first time. And then it's also Franklin Park. So, I think, FP, really runs through, a million places of this.
Yeah.
But, it's a crazy-ass movie.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and do it for the Ducks, man, because this is really hurting the Ducks, yo. Oh, my God. So, so if you want to get in on watching unbelievably bad movies like that every now and then, or unbelievably good ones Hackers.
Did you just say it was unbelievably bad? Oh no.
Get on the Discord. Get on the Discord. Also, if you want to find out, when we're playing games and stuff like Minecraft or whatever else, it's over there too. So, it's good times. But anyways, everyone...
Doxy saying justification for alcoholism as I'm in the middle of pouring a drink. That was poignant.
What timing. So, there's some really interesting things aligning today. And the most important topic of the day is kind of a bunch of subtopics, which is Myanmar, financials, militias, and Eric Prince. And let's start with the easiest part before we dig into some of the deeper stuff, which is Eric Prince. It came out a couple hours ago that the UN inspectors have released a report saying that he violated the sanctions against arms trafficking with Libya. That Eric Prince actually supplied arms to a militia against UN sanctions, and the militia's said goal in the negotiations for the arms was to overthrow the Libyan government. So he knew exactly what they were doing up front and then sold them the arms. So he
that motherfucker's got it coming!
Multiple international laws were broken here. So then let's play That Happens Today. That gets released today. Happened over the last few years because honestly, with him, it's the last 20 years. He's been doing this shit for a while. But at the same time that comes out today, Donk and Friends have released some data through DDoS, Distributed Denial of Secrets. And it is titled Myanmar Financials. And I've got a little image here of the page over on the DDoS website. You can download the torrent. It's 330 gigs or so.
It's a huge bitch.
And it's all kinds of data. But what's cool about the way this data is it was a scrape, which was not simple to do from a couple of Myanmar websites that don't have a lot of bandwidth. And it was converted as it was being scraped into, completely machine-readable registry information.
It was actually really difficult to complete the scrape over a period of time because people were DDoSing, the internet was going down. It was a challenge where, you're trying to pull data from a source and, hey, actors, groups within Myanmar are doing their own sort of protest DDoS and knocking shit offline. You're like, hey, fucking stop that. So that was a whole thing.
So that's going right now. You can go download the torrent. Over on my machine, it is moving at 28 megasecond right now on my machine. So it's flying. And that's my sending out. So you should be able to download it pretty quickly.
You know, I gotta add this to my seed boxes now that you remind me.
Right. It's just yeah. I mean, you gotta get it up there, get it going. It's just 330 gigs. I have it going out to an external that wasn't being used that much. I needed to find somewhere to put that space.
I got pipe 420 and you can fucking handle it.
Right. Yeah, so that thing is flying right now. So everyone grab it, seed it, make sure it stays up. We know what happens when DDoS, when Distributed Denial of Secrets there, puts something out. They seem to get banned a lot. The URLs to it seem to get banned a lot. Their accounts usually get suspended during these weeks when stuff comes out, so, like, expect everything. Now, I think that the worst of that happens when they do it to literally, like, American government or police or things like that. But it still does happen to them quite often.
I should go ping a friend and tell them they might want to delete a tweet.
You know, it's just one of those things, yeah. I said the same thing, by the way. There's a reason I retweeted the one that I retweeted and not the one with the direct link, because Twitter really likes banning you for sending out anything from their website.
Well, heat of the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Anyways, you know, you're in front of a computer. You can fix things. Just don't do it, like, on screen there. There you go.
Yeah.
Other monitor.
Yes.
As everyone watches, you type in the password. No one in our audience would have ever done anything with it. No.
Also, I'm gonna run. First of all, I'm gonna run to the service downstairs and go check for my pizza. I'll be right back.
Yeah. You know what? Let's do a quick break here, guys. I'm gonna go use the restroom. Do that.
Please,
He's gonna
break.
grab.
Oh shit! Break!
So we'll be right back. All right, everyone. I grabbed a snack, got the restroom in. He's got his cancer drink and pizza.
I need energy for later. Leave me alone. He says as he's literally just got a giant fucking bottle of caffeine pills on his desk.
Right. And I'm the one drinking Pepsi, so like I'm no better. Like, you know.
That shit'll rot your teeth.
Stones, glass houses, all that. Good times. Yeah, that's why you brush them, floss them, you know, do all that stuff, mouthwash.
Okay, now I have pizza. The cats are swarming.
We're about to see one of those horror movies where the cats just from all sides jump on screen.
I have to realign my camera here because they're jumping around and knocking shit. Freaking brats.
Yeah, pretty much, Zamana.
Yeah.
Good times. Yeah. So Eric Prince is doxxed. He is found to have violated multiple international laws by the UN, and he is all over the Myanmar financials with his FSG, the Frontier Services Group.
Yeah.
So hopefully, yeah, I mean, he's been in and out of Myanmar for the last couple years doing a lot of work. So hopefully he gets in lots of trouble for all of the bullshit he's been up to. I would say for the last 20 years, but we know all the stuff that he did for the U.S. government he ain't getting in trouble for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we are still stuck with the Myanmar authorities as they being the bad guys, and the ones that the people on the streets are fighting to replace them with also the bad guys, but just the lesser of the bad guys. And following it as closely as I've been able to, which of course the local government there has made hard, the coup. It's still hard to see, you know, like, you might hate Navalny, right? And there's good reason, you know, because he's a nationalist and racist and anti-immigration and all these other things. But at least when you're looking at, like, the Russian opposition and you see the people in the streets, there's a person in the streets with them that, like, they're behind, that they would like to replace the leadership with. And I haven't really seen that person step up in Myanmar yet, or be kind of hoisted up by the crowd yet. I'm hoping at some point that someone appears to be that person for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
There were a ton of companies in that financial dump. So we have Eric Prince's shit show. We have companies like SAP, so IBM. And of course, IBM, historically known for supporting fascist movements, Wirecard, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, as everyone knows, SAP, you won't find a large evil regime in the world that doesn't currently use SAP, usually backed by Oracle, in some way, like both of them being there, you know. Similar to how the rise of the Nazis also coincided with every step they took that needed a lot of data work, such as indexing and databasing all of the Jews in Germany and the greater Europe as they continued to take over things like Poland and whatnot. They used IBM machines.
IBM made the Holocaust possible and efficient.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like, you know, here's a thing you can buy off the shelf that's already over there in Europe. No. IBM had to, like, invent some things or fix things and get entire crews together to work on the systems that were used to index. So the initial, like, card-based system that Hitler's regime used to index every single Jew and write where they lived, what ghetto they belonged in, and all the other things about them. And then to index them as they were putting them in camps and who was at what camp and all that. That entire card-based system was developed by IBM for them specifically. In that same way, you'll find Oracle right now, their databases are currently being used under license by the Chinese government for the Uyghur camps, for the concentration camps that China's currently running. And SAP, I don't believe is involved in that one, but I mean, they're in Myanmar, they're in most of the bad places right now run by fascist dictators, military coups and whatnot. So it's really important to point out and yell at these companies as you find this information out. And I'm glad that the release here has that data, and I'm hoping some journalist decides to actually do something with it.
That's the goal.
Well, I mean, with like the Panama Papers, when they came out, there was a lot of gold in there, and journalists stayed far away from it because it would have affected where their money came from. So I'm hoping that this one maybe is less of a hot potato for them, and they can just run with some of it. We'll have to see if they think it'll get abused.
Myanmar is currently a country that is under sanctions because of the coup.
Yeah.
That changes the calculus a little bit. Hopefully. Yeah, all of the Myanmar generals do use G Suite. They have a corporate G Suite account that the military uses, and Google. They use Cloudflare a lot too.
Yeah, they have everything behind Cloudflare. Everything they can. That they put together themselves, like the high-end military stuff. But all the corporate stuff isn't. I mean, yay.
Tell you what, the military stuff, not all that's behind Cloudflare.
I'm just not trying to have other people stomping on some grounds that are currently fertile, Just, everyone keep your hands off. There are people looking at the stuff that needs to be looked at right now, and this is probably not the last dump.
Yeah, I know.
They
love Drupal. They love WordPress.
They do love... I have never understood people loving Drupal. I don't get it. I'm sorry. But, like, if you need that specific thing, like, there's this ground where WordPress is fine for the small local electrician's sales webpage, and then there's this space where WordPress VAP is fine if you're running, like, TechCrunch. But then there's, like, Drupal, which is more advanced than that, but far less advanced than something custom. And anyone who needs more than WordPress needs custom, I think, personally. And
You're right.
Whenever I've played with Drupal, I've always wondered, like, why? Why am I playing with Drupal? Like, I don't get it. I know a lot of people that love Drupal, too. I know entire design houses here in Boston that only roll out Drupal for their clients, and I don't get it. I mean, I'm sorry. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
The whole war was like WordPress versus Joomla versus Drupal.
Well, I mean,
and then, like,
I've never found a Joomla that was secure. Like, I have never found a Joomla that was secure. I found a few WordPresses that were, and a few Drupals that were, but never a Joomla that was secure. It's not possible to secure that code base.
I had a free pen test from some friends over a WordPress installation that I had, and they were actually impressed that it was as solid as it was. So
I've had WordPress behind a couple websites.
Even then, they still managed to get RCEs. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for that you have to really sandbox the instance itself.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to force them to not only RCE the WordPress, but then you've got to force that to not just instantly fork off into some honeypot, or you've got to force that specifically, from a Docker to not give them any of the ways to escape Docker or whatever image, LXC, whatever you're using.
And nobody that is running WordPress is ever going to put that much fucking effort into doing any of that shit.
I've had to run WordPress for 2 different clients, and like recently that needed security, and I put all that effort in, but the average is not that. No, the average is none of that.
You're a good man.
Yeah. I mean, the isolation on that is you get into WordPress. Well, good for you. That user can't do shit but access the database and read these files. It has one folder it can write to, and it isn't even on the server it's on. It APIs over to a cloud service. So you have fun with that RCE to nowhere.
I had writes completely disabled in my instance.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, you just have to hook into the filter calls, so it sends all the writes off into an API instead of onto the disk. There's stuff you can do, but it's like people never put that amount of effort in. But you can put that amount of effort in with like WordPress, and to a lesser extent, you can put in 4 times that effort with Drupal and get the same kind of effect. But I'm sorry. There is no way to do any amount of effort to secure Joomla. It ain't happening. So anyone running Joomla still, please stop. I mean, unless you're like setting up honeypots to like catch people doing shit, then hey, you know, keep those up. Yeah. Yeah. Good times. So,
goddamn responsible disclosure honeypots. I hate them. I hate them.
Right? Yeah, no, don't stop. Keep using Joomla. Well, yeah, if you're a foreign dictator or something, Joomla is the platform for you. You know, yeah, you know, that is interesting. One of the things I always notice is like, I take my notes all on, you know, on this wonderful thing right here, you know, and it's, you know, just an e-ink screen with a little, you know, pen, but, every time it turns itself off to go to sleep or something, because it's been like an hour since I've touched it, I remember that paper wouldn't have turned itself off when I went to look at it. You know, like, ugh.
Okay, I have an e-ink display right here. And this bad boy, this has no power. So the fact that it's clearing itself before shut off confuses the heck out of me.
Yeah. Yeah, I love these things. This is the Remarkable 2, and it writes and feels like paper and sounds like paper while you're writing on it. Like you actually feel like you're writing on paper with a pencil. It's kind of neat.
If you're wondering why it's got a cute face, it's called a Ponagachi.
Yep.
It's imagine a virtual pet Tamagotchi that sniffs Wi-Fi, and you go and you feed that shit in a hash cat and you own all your neighbors.
Good times. Yeah. So, the Soviets used a pencil. Well, yes. Yeah, you know, the Perseverance landed on Mars there, and, so that's our 9th successful landing on Mars, and, I'm just waiting, because now that it's there, it's like only weeks away from being completely anthropomorphized and thought of as like a living creature. Like the Spirit rover, like and like, you know, Curiosity, everyone like talked about them like they were like these living beings that like they had feelings for. And Perseverance is gonna get the same treatment, you know. So yeah.
It's got a helicopter. It's got little pew-pews.
Dude, the helicopter is freaking cool looking. Like that is some neat shit. You know, it's definitely interesting. Yeah,
okay,
we have our first drone.
Somebody asked.
Yeah, it runs Linux, by the way. The
yes,
drone,
it does.
it's running Linux. So, Linux among actual available operating systems to the public has a 100% market share currently on the surface of Mars. So we can have the year of Linux on Mars, but we still don't have the year of Linux on the desktop.
We live in a society.
We do. We sure do. I fought that fight for 20 years.
Somebody was asking what the fuck I got on my pizza. So I got bacon, banana peppers, jalapeno, and goat cheese.
It's
really good.
Of course. That sounds so bad.
Yeah, I gotta go with Greg on that one.
Oh my god. That sounds very Canadian of you.
Oh, come on. I got a pepperoni.
I didn't even think of. I didn't even consider that before. So when you said bacon, did you mean like Canadian bacon? Or...
No. I mean like straight up like strips of fucking bacon.
Okay, good. Okay, that's fine. Okay. I still couldn't eat it, but you know. Yeah, I can't eat anything spicy of any kind at all. I can't even be like near black pepper. Like it kills me.
I'm dipping it in fucking buffalo sauce.
Yeah, like no, that everything about everything you're doing right there would have me on the ground crying. Yeah, like.
Okay, I got right here. Fucking this shit I can drink. It's fucking ghost pepper sauce.
Look, Kurt, we all know you hate yourself. Like, you don't have to show us proof in a bottle. Like, oh my God, here he goes. Come on. Don't. Okay.
I would normally do this, but it's been sitting on my desk for about 14 months.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
That's a little.
And actually, that color, I don't even understand what that color is anymore.
Yeah. We don't need Kurt getting food poisoning on stream. Like that's not what we're here for. Nope. All right. No. All right. Wait. Put the cap back on. All right, chat. Kurt has a Patreon. If 1,000 of you sign up tonight at the end of the show, he'll drink it.
I'll drink that. I don't care how fucking rotten it is.
It'll take exactly 1,000 new subs, you know? Yeah. And by the way, of course, everyone subscribe to the channel for more stuff and give Kurt his Patreon all the monies.
San Antonio, homie, for linking the Patreon.
Yes. We all love San Antonio.
I'll give my PayPal address. You can send directly to that too. I'm actually much more destitute than anyone would actually assume.
I'm there with you.
Yeah.
We are poor buddies. Definitely not doing so hot on the money front, but the fun front in terms of activism and all that. We're having a blast. Yeah, if you guys would like us to keep being able to focus on that and forgetting every day that we got to make money, then just give us some with the subscriptions and the Patreons and the PayPals and whatnot.
Because I'm so depressed and miserable these days, I buy a couple of pizzas with coupons, and those last me a few days. And that happened. I did that yesterday. And my dog.
Oh God.
My dog fucking snuck up on me because I was working, grinding and stuff. I had music blasting full blast. My dog fucking sneaks up without me noticing and eats 2 entire pizzas.
Oh wow.
The whole thing's just 2 pizzas, just like there it is. I found them this morning, and I don't even punish her when she does that because she's an 8-year-old dog at this point, and like if she can pull off a heist like that, she fucking earned it. So
yeah, sometimes you've just got to say, well done.
Yeah, doggo's gonna dog. So I haven't even picked up the box that's sitting here on the floor, half open, staring at me and all miserable. I'll pay you to stretch for 20 minutes and drink a gallon of water.
So Doxy, I can drink the water and I can do any stretches up here, but I have a broken foot right now, and so any stretches that involve standing aren't happening for a few more weeks. It is. I'm not going to show it on stream because it's like black and blue and purple and whatnot, and it's in a spot where they can't cast it or do anything to it. So I just got to kind of be like not putting pressure on it and keeping it still and not trying to bend my toes. It's good times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do need to do a little more stretching, but like with the foot, it's like slowed me down a little.
See, when I'm doing something stressful or I'm waiting for a long-running process or a scan to finish,
he gets his pump on.
I just fucking go. And there are some days where I've gone so hard that I don't even want to move after I get out of bed. And
No, I really want there to be an awesome story as to why my foot is currently broken in black and blue and crushed state, but there isn't one. I was at the grocery store and I was going to leave the grocery store, and the guy who goes and collects all the shopping carts out in the parking lot was pushing a chain of like 20 of them at once, and something happened, and at the back of it he just did this, and so the whole thing kind of ripple affected down the line as they slid over like 2 feet. So where I was standing, suddenly the middle cart jumped 2 feet and landed on top of my foot. And then he pushed right over it, and I pulled my foot out, of course, before the next one hits it. but like it's not the weight of one cart landing on your foot at that point. It's the weight of all of the carts pulling down on it from both sides. And now I have met this guy a couple times while there. Like he's always the guy getting the carts at this grocery store. And him getting in trouble or losing this job would be just about the end of his damn life. So I just looked at him. He looked at me with this look like, oh, fuck, like, great. Now what am I going to do? And I said, don't worry about it. I'll be fine. He said, that's gotta fucking hurt. And I said, it really does. I think it's broken. And he said, do we need to go get my boss? And I said, no, just I'll be fine. And I went home. Like, of course, like I could do all kinds of shit and report him and like talk to the boss, but like there's a million people who do his job. He's not hard to replace at all. So like I didn't want to cost him his job, and it's just a few weeks of like dealing with the pain, so whatever. But so there's no like major story to it. It's just like I got hit and I, like it sucks, but like what am I gonna do, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's similar reasons. Any little incidents like that, I don't even fucking pursue it, because I realized that I probably would have made the same kind of dumbass mistake.
Well, yeah, he gave me that look like he didn't understand why I was letting him off, and I'm not in a financial situation where I could lose 1 cent of what's coming in right now and survive. So like I get it. Like, I mean, maybe if I was some rich bastard with a bunch of privilege and whatnot, I would have like maybe been that asshole. But like, yeah. So I mean, yeah, my foot sucks right now, though.
Be good to your neighbors.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And I mean, I'm gonna see him all the time too.
I'm gonna,
he's there every time I go to the grocery store.
I'm gonna tell this anecdote.
Yeah.
There was a tweet that went out along the same lines that I'm going to reiterate here. When it comes to dealing with complete and utter strangers and awkward situations that most people would be furious about or call the police about. So, number of years ago, ironically, I'm not a man that ever locks my doors. That's actually very common in Canada. Just, home invasions, they're not typically a thing.
They're not that common.
They are not that common. So middle of the night, like late night, like 4 a.m., here's some noise in the living room. Okay, whatever.
Right.
Somebody had wandered into our place through our back door, drunk, completely sloshed. Had no idea who they were, and they had crashed on our couch. And most people would probably call the fucking cops. This guy, he got a glass of water,
right?
Got to sleep, and then got sent on his way. That's frankly how the world should be.
I agree
from my perspective. There was nothing malicious was done, nothing was stolen, other than just this like, no, a guy that was really fucking drunk probably wandered somewhere into a place where he didn't realize that wasn't where he's supposed to go, or just I'm not even gonna muse on that. But no, he got a good rest, somewhere warm. I was a complete and utter stranger, gave him some water. I was like, all right, go on. And this conversation came up in the context of hacking in general, about how hacking is not a crime. Like, would you pick a lock to get in the house? Get better locks. And this anecdote was dropped, saying that if somebody wandered into my house, if they didn't do anything bad, I wouldn't fucking do anything to them. Like, right. I wouldn't call the cops. I wouldn't pursue any charges. It's all about intent. I was just a dude that was way off his rocker, just needed to fucking crash and sleep somewhere, and that was okay. Nothing bad happened. Just be like, oh, okay, go on. Enjoy your life.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not a thing that affects you in any kind of super negative way, why? You know, like why?
Exactly. America, just the way that just the culture of fear is something that endlessly confuses me.
Yeah. It is. I don't know. It's just how I live my life. Like I would hope that some people give me the same, you know, benefits at those moments when I make mistakes. That I try my best to give to other people. I realize that, you know, that's somewhat naive. I know that, you know, I've been in those situations where I definitely didn't. But I think in the end, the more people who act like that in those situations, the better off we all are. So I try my best to always act that way. It's, I mean, I wanted to scream. Like, when he ran over it, I didn't even scream, like, because I didn't want to, like, draw everyone's attention to what had just happened. I just did this, you know, and waited for him to, you know, stop pushing the carts and walk over. Yeah, good times.
And Canadian Glenn said that it's like pen testing and hacking. One is meant to assist, one is offensive. No. Hacking is not always offensive. That's that was part of the reason why I said that. It's like part of the reason that anecdote came up in the first place. Like, hacking is not a crime. Say you manage to go and find some crazy ass shit, and you get in, you're curious and want to look around because, oh hey, like, what the fuck is this? You are not implicitly committing any crimes. You're not causing any damage. You're just looking around. Should you choose to send notes as to how you got in or not, that's up to you. But brute force assholery, that's a completely other discussion.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that happened that I might as well just say here because fuck it. I had someone on the show like early, and literally an hour after they were on here, their website, which is WordPress based, started getting slammed with a giant botnet attempting every WP scan available. Looking for every way in, brute forcing all of the logins. They ended up finding a username enumeration bug that I still haven't quite figured out how they enumerated, because the two known enumerations out there were plugged up. So, like, you couldn't use the standard user enumeration in WP Scan and get anything out of it because I had secured the site pretty well. But they did get user enumeration somehow. So all the logins went from one day being random names to suddenly being the correct usernames, just the wrong passwords now. Like, you could see the progression of them getting closer. And they luckily never got in. But for like 6 days, their admin email was getting literally like 1,000 login attempts an hour. And this was with login limiting put on. So every third failure was banning that IP for good. So they just had a gigantic network of bots to keep smashing this with IPs. And I couldn't even ban like countries because they were coming from just a botnet of like probably Windows machines all over the damn world. I could have disabled login for a few days, but they were updating and working on the damn website. So like,
at that point, what you do is you gate the WordPress admin interface to a specific tunnel or a VPN interface.
Yeah, and you can also use Nginx's HTTP basic auth, and you can put like multiple steps in front of it to slowly make it harder. You can change the URL of it, which you can do. It's built in as a filter in WordPress. You can do 100 things.
Hot tip, yeah. If you're running a WordPress install, just install install a plugin that changes all of the URIs internally.
Yeah.
So that they can't tell that it's WordPress.
Yeah,
that's like.
There is actually a plugin on Code Canyon that is about anonymizing your WordPress and making it where you can't tell it's WordPress, and it's good when you have it installed and completely configured. WP Scan does not see WordPress, but the funny thing is their logo for the plugin is actually the Guy Fawkes mask, and I always found that funny.
That's really funny.
You know,
XML RPC is such a huge vector too. So
yeah, always disable it.
Always
it doesn't affect anything.
I found sites on the darknet that have had XML RPC enabled, And I just go and you do a quick little thing. It's like, oh, all right, I got your origin. There you are. I just de-anonymized you. Nice and quick and simple. It took me 30 seconds. So,
nice.
Yes.
Thanks Doxy, Vassar, Devno, everyone, Momo Fanibus, everybody. Look at this, Anonymous TST, all of you with the subs and donos. That's a huge help. Yeah, I mean there are so many bad holes. I mean, look, Freedom Hosting on the darknet, like it went down because I mean obviously they were doing all kinds of bad things and kind of got what they deserved, but like. There were 20 sites on there. I scanned their entire all of the onions from them, and I found RCEs in like 20 plus sites in under an hour. So they if you're running that kind of a hosting, like you should not just, hey everybody, you want to host somewhere where you can host whatever the fuck you want. No, you should also say, and also when you do it, our security guy's gonna make sure they ain't getting in through your shit and then infiltrating our network. Because they didn't do that part, and their network got infiltrated and then reversed out of, so you know it was located.
Yeah, I'm gonna I'm looking over at another group chat that I'm in right now, and since it is literally about to hit major outlets anyway, I can probably be a little free fall about this.
Let's go.
So. And this ties into the DC3 stuff over the last couple of weeks,
which is the DoD's cybersecurity arm.
Yeah. So I moonlight with a group of white hats.
It's the strangest
First of all,
thing.
It's very strange. It's very strange. Like I'm a good guy on the weekends. That's my hobby. It's actually don't fucking call me a traitor, you son of a bitch. So we completely and utterly decimated the Indian government. It was probably as easy as you would assume it was, and they are not responding as they should to our disclosure. They're not. They're just giving us like, oh, we're working on it. Oh, we're working on it.
Right.
And John Jackson got pissed. And he's like, you know what?
I saw that post.
Yep. So he's like, okay, you know what? Fuck you. I'm releasing more notes, just tweeting. Let's see. This is what we fucking did. This is everything that we got. Y'all need to fucking get your shit together. And some of the largest news publications in India have apparently caught wind of this and are reaching out. So I'm looking in the chat and it says, y'all ready to make world news? So that's going to be a thing. And I will point out, so the most devastating of them, the funny thing with running with a bunch of white hats is they're actually kind of afraid to go deeper.
There are levels where they like start to feel more and more uncomfortable, and you it's palpable. They don't even have to say it. You know it. Like just by how they're acting, you start to feel like, oh yeah, no, I think he's reached his limit.
Yeah, so they found some some basic stuff, and they're ready to stop there. I'm like, okay, you know what? Fuck you. We can go deeper. So within about 30 minutes or so, I had chained RCE into getting Tomcat credentials, into getting into a Tomcat administration panel, into being able to view all of the active sessions on a government financial application. And I was doing full-blown session hijacking of every single fucking session on this financial application. So I was just like, yeah, fuck you, we just go, let's just fucking go. And I'm just like, lol, guys, check this shit out. And we're staring at like $500,000 financial proposals and stuff, internals of the government. And they're all just like, Jesus fucking Christ.
So let's explain some of that for the audience. RCE is remote code execution. It means you're hitting someone's web server, or really whatever remotely that's responding to your request to connect to it, and you're able to convince it to run code that you've sent. And so he was able to send code into an Indian government server that it executed at a privilege level that it definitely should not have been able to, that gave him more access to things. Now, this allowed him to get into Tomcat. And Tomcat, for people who don't know...
Okay. It was actually... I didn't privask.
No, but it shouldn't have been able to execute in a way where it could have even given you access to the Tomcat.
No, I got a shell. I popped a shell. I mean,
nothing run on the web externally like that should be able to drop a shell. You can block that. Like, it's not complicated.
Yeah.
But so he drops a shell, he gets into Tomcat. Now, Tomcat is this horrible concoction of this idea that Java should be ever served on the web. And so Tomcat serves Java applications to, the public. Because that's what Java is when it's put on the web. It's served up for everyone to abuse. Tomcat itself is just how you run like high-end Java applications on a web server. It's an Apache project, and it's horrible. The amount of holes in Tomcat over the years have been just disgusting. They have all involved, like, there hasn't ever been a hole in Tomcat, I don't think, that didn't involve you took the whole system by the end of it. Like, Tomcat, when you get into Tomcat, you just kind of, well, this is my server now. You know?
Yeah.
And so he got in through a remote code execution, and that got him into the Tomcat, administration panel, which, of course, lets him do a hell of a lot from there. I mean, at that point, you can see all the sessions, you can see everyone connecting to the application, you were basically, at that point, probably you were imitating people with session hijacking, right? So you could just take over the sessions and log in as them.
I was taking those session IDs, I was popping them in and just, like, refreshing a page that I Google dorked. Because I didn't know the internal application structure, and I happened to find a few leads via Google dorking. So I went, and instead of getting you need a login page, I was just hitting refresh and then right in the application as that user.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
If I had spent more time with it, I could have found an actual administration level account and been able to really get in that bad boy, but I didn't go that far.
There are certain points where you've done enough to prove your point,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, at that point, all you had to do was wait for an admin to literally log in and just hijack the session, and then set yourself up.
There were 4,000 active sessions. I could have crawled that whole thing for a different account level.
Yeah,
and if I was really determined to.
Right.
Only white hats will just be like, oh wait, no, we found personal information. We're gonna stop here, guys. We noticed, like, no.
Well, no,
Rude, it's just the beginning, motherfucker.
There's a problem with that with white hats that's very, very specific to me personally that I think is like the key here. It's not like they see the personally identifying information, and that, if you ever take like the ethical hacking courses or anything, they kind of also lead you down this path of believing that once you've gotten there, it's time to tap out because you might be violating some kind of law-related information like HIPAA or whatever else, right? But I'll tell you, that's the worst thing you can do for the owner of that server if you're trying to be a white hat, because you got this far, you have now logged one bug, maybe two, to get you to where you are, but this server is full of holes. If you found these two, there are 5 others that they need to know about that you need to continue finding. And the white hats tap out. They tap out so soon that like a couple holes get patched up, but that server is still not done. The next guy's gonna pop right through and violate the next ones that you didn't find because you left early. And that always pisses me off. Like, do a thorough job, please.
Yes. We'll put it this way. If your intents are sound, don't fucking worry about the future legal ramifications of it. Just fucking do it. Get what you can.
To a point.
If you're to a point.
Yeah.
don't blow it up.
Yeah, don't go war games and kick off thermonuclear war on anyone. But like, you know.
Yeah, but like the whole thing with modern infosec and tight targeting, scoping and stuff, it's a whole bunch of fucking horseshit. Really, all it shows is that they are not confident of the integrity of the rest of their system, and they don't want you poking around places where it might be sensitive, and that is something that needs to change. It just in the industry in general, just blow out scope. If you can get in and you can find as much as you fucking can, do it, note it, let them fix it up and teach them a fucking lesson. Security, it's a goddamn joke. It is a fucking joke. The only reason why we are not in the state that we are in as we were a decade ago, 2011 or so, and you know, that time period, is because people are fucking afraid of getting sent to the slammer for a decade. Realistically. But as far as actual security posture and integrity goes, nothing has changed. Nothing has fucking changed. It is just as easy nowadays to get into whatever the fuck you want to as it was back then. Just the penalties and the whiplash that you might potentially face or you're terrified of facing are staring you right in the face. And that's a huge problem. That's it. Like that is why the whole infosec industry, all this fucking ethical hacking bullshit just disgusts me to my complete and utter core. I came back into it. I was rusty as hell, and I'm going around and I'm fucking doing all this crazy ass shit, and my white hat pals are just like, holy fucking shit, you're rusty. And I'm like, yeah. The fuck do they teach you? Oh my god. God damn. Sorry, that was a bit of a rant and a tangent, but that is my... Yeah, stuff happens. And,
you know, it just sometimes what you just did is absolutely necessary.
Like, if I get a foothold, I don't give a shit about your scope. I'm gonna fucking look around. End of the day, I might not report all the findings, but I'm gonna say like, okay, so what's going on here? Oh no. So if you see some shit in MSM about the India thing and the DoD is mentioned heavily, just know I had no personal dealings with the DoD. That was somebody else. I stay far the fuck away from that shit.
You are insulated by the white hats you have surrounded yourself with.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, what the fuck is going on in my life? I don't even get this shit.
You are learning what it's like to dance around the white hats and their kind of view of how this works. Now, there are some good white hats. There are some people in the white hat community who really are like our type of people. And like, yeah, I love John
Jackson. I love John. John, he is good. Like, and that's the thing where he's just like, okay, you know what? You're taking too long. Fuck you. Fuck your disclosure. We're gonna do this thing. And God bless you, John. You are. Yeah. I love you. I fucking love you. Right. InfoSec, like you might get shit on by other people within the InfoSec space for doing that, but you know what? Fuck them. That's the whole point of what we're doing. Like
if they were doing their jobs, they would have found the problems.
Exactly. If they're doing their jobs, and if other people would stop being so fucking gripped on the nuts by corporate interests and lawyers that are fucking terrified of their companies looking bad, maybe we might get somewhere. End of the day. So let's just keep fucking making a gigantic show of all this gigantic goddamn mess that is ethical hacking, John. I love you. I love you to death.
Absolutely. There are ways to do that type of hacking and pen testing that don't infuriate us. Yeah. And also don't end in you going to jail. I'm
gonna deal with this shit. Like
yeah, like it gets to you, right?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'd like no. Scope, fuck your scope. End of the day.
Right? Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna sue me for helping you get more secure? Okay, fucking try it and see if you fucking actually win in court. Go fuck yourself.
You know, I think California should. So in California, there's a funny thing going on right now.
By the way, Monday, big drop. Keybase privacy hole. that we found. If you're a Keybase user, make sure your shit's patched.
Yes.
They patched it. There have been 2 recent updates,
and both of them address the same problem.
Yeah, both of them address the same problem. The details will be coming out. But if you actually, if you trusted Keybase as a secure privacy application, then I'm sorry. We're about to completely and utterly demolish their reputation, and sorry.
Shit happens is what we're trying to say. You know, just always remember shit happens.
Shit happens.
But it's more secure now thanks to this, so you know, let's hope. Although having had a bit of the whole described, I question a lot of their other security practices now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a doozy. It's a doozy. When I say it's gonna trash their rep, I really fucking mean it, because like Keybase, compared to a lot of other E2E platforms, it's used heavily by developers, by hackers, by people that really, really, really want to keep their shit private. And this is going to make them look like garbage, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a good look. It's not a good look for the industry they're in. But
No.
What I was going to say was, out in California, there's something really interesting going on right now. If you run a company and you hire an outside developer to add more security to your application right now, such as a recent task I did, which was basically all of this one company's login pages for their various clients and themselves and whatnot were not on SSL. Everything was plain text. I went in and, you know, fixed all that. Although there was a big mess that made that not as easy as just, you know, loading up Let's Encrypt and in the Nginx module. Instead, there was a lot of other fun stuff to do before it could be done. But out in California, the government is giving rebates to companies to cover the cost of securing their public-facing architecture like that. So, like, if you can prove to the government that what you did was to add more security to the things that the public and other companies are using from your company on the web, you get your money back. I think, you know, that is the best use of tax dollars I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
You know, let's get things more secure, damn it.
Let's get things more secure, damn it. And completely and utterly unrelated, but if you got a Twitter account, you should shitpost more at the U.S. military, because I'll tell you, it's fun.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I'm not gonna give any more context than that.
Right.
Oh, sometimes you can really make it sting. Yeah, you got this fucking vodka and fucking Monster. What the fuck am I doing with my life?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure what our audience wants to talk about right now is that Kim and Kanye have finally filed for divorce. And I'm sure that is the thing that's really on their minds. I think that, I mean, according to Twitter, it's what we should all be paying attention to right now.
Oh my God! Who gives a shit? Oh, I'm sorry.
I really wish everyone in the world felt exactly like that. Could you please fuck both of them? I don't care about either of these 2 human beings at all. Stop
Why
it.
do we know what's going on in their lives?
Please.
Why?
Oh my God! Look, like I appreciate a few tracks by Kanye West, like "Runaway." Runaway. I love
there
Runaway.
is some musical talent there, sure, but he's also a trash human.
Yeah, God damn! Who gives a shit about a fucking celebrity divorce? Like, realistically,
Yeah, right?
like that is one of 100 of that day.
Right, exactly.
Like, oh my God!
When I pull up the trending on Twitter, it's always like a couple political things I want to know about. It's maybe 1 or 2 people I want to, and then the rest of it's that, and some rapper said something he shouldn't, and it's just bless
the algorithm.
I hate the algorithm.
Yeah, I generally try to make a policy of avoiding any sort of social media trending feeds, because it will just enrage me.
So, hot tip: if you're a Twitter user, if you're a fucking Twitter user, the worst thing you can do is let yourself be trapped in the algorithm. So what you do is you go to home. There's a bar at the top that says latest tweets. There's a little icon. People don't fucking know about this. Well, like anytime I showed this to them, they were just like, what the fuck? So at the very top of the latest tweets thing, right above where you can type out a new tweet, there's a little icon that looks like some twinkling stars. Click that shit. Says latest tweets show up. Oh, sorry, that's because I haven't. We have it in normal mode. Home shows you top tweets first. Fuck that shit. You want Twitter raw, how it's supposed to be, how it used to be? See latest tweets first. Click that. Your experience is now normal. Alternately, use TweetDeck. Fuck algorithm.
I want to tie into
engagement-driven algorithms. They are a blight on fucking society.
I want to tie into a piece of conversation that we had on Wednesday, though, about Napster and Metallica, right? Because something that happened a couple hours ago online is still my favorite thing from today. And it's not, anything related to the politics. It is instead... at BlizzCon, Blizzard's convention and everything, Metallica were playing a live concert, and so part of BlizzCon, which is all online right now, had Metallica starting to play a concert. And BlizzCon is live streamed on Twitch's actual own Twitch gaming channel on Twitch. And so Twitch's anti-DMCA stuff cut the feed and started playing 8-bit pause music for the entirety of it to avoid DMCA claims during Metallica's concert on Twitch.
Wait. They did they actually did a BlizzCon this year?
Yeah. So
I've gone to 2 BlizzCons in the last few years. So like the 2 prior to COVID. And I actually didn't know they got Metallica to do one again.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. So it's utterly hilarious.
I have been so immersed in fucking work and wet work that I like I'm a huge gamer, but like I don't even know what's going on in the gaming world, and I feel like I've just like shifted out of time.
Everyone plays Among Us now. That's all you need to know. Everyone is sus because that's all they play.
I should log into World of Warcraft and tell my wife to unblock my phone number.
But yeah, I just found that fucking hilarious that Metallica, the production team at Twitch, like this wasn't automated. Like the Twitch production team who are kind of working these big live streams like this on the Twitch main channels actually did the transition on purpose to get away from Metallica's concert to avoid the DMCA, which they had a huge hand in making happen due to their case against Napster. Like they just did this to themselves basically, and that's fucking hilarious. Yeah, good times. I don't know. I thought that was fucking funny.
It is. I'm sorry. I made the wife comment, and I just I went.
It leads you down a path, and it's hard to get away from. I understand. We all love you.
I have a boy coming. That's fun.
And what is his first name?
Dade.
And does chat love that name? I'd love that name.
Yes.
That is the name.
Yep.
I've actually got video of this. If anyone can believe it. So I'm gonna show you all a video here of Dade. Give me one sec. Hold up, Kurt. Now, obviously, for all kinds of reasons, here is Dade 10 years from now.
We all know it's coming.
Maybe 15 years from now.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that Dade knows to commit all the really gnarly internet crimes before you're an adult. Let's make sure that those are youth offenses. Oh boy. Yeah, so Dade is due current due date is April 13th, which is kind of actually really funny because the mother's birthday is March 30th. Mine is April 6th. 420 Chan is 420. If Date is born on April 13th, as projected,
it'll be 1 week, 1 week,
1 week.
Her birthday, my birthday, kid's birthday, 420 Chan's birthday. Because, the universe likes to play cosmic jokes on me, like, constantly.
Indeed. The coincidences just stack up around you.
Yeah. They really do.
Yeah. So Date, I love that name. That is good stuff. But yeah, for anyone who wonders, I have an entire folder of little clips from hackers. Like literally, there's like 50 of them in there. It's a thing, you know. Yeah. So good times. What does chat want to hear about? We're like 2 hours in here. We've kind of covered all the stuff we were going to talk about. Anyone have anything they want us to talk about? Got any? You guys had a lot of good questions for Alex the other day. You know, what do you got for Kurt here? Anything? I mean, are we gonna have to do bad things to chat to get them to ask you good questions?
No, I'm not your dad. I remember that time, 330. It's 331 gigabytes. Come on, I know you're drinking too, so come on.
There are full seeds out there now, so everyone get it while you can, and don't be a chump. Leave your seed up for a few days.
This ain't like Blue Leaks or any of that shit. It's fucking Myanmar. They got sanctions going. You're safe. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. People aren't coming after you on this one. I mean, maybe Eric Prince, but he's got some other troubles today, so who knows?
Yep. This Pink Punch lemonade, 50 milliliter.
That's I'm gonna say it just because I love you. That's fucking stupid. I think all smoking is stupid, and all drugs are too. So I'm
Okay,
just gonna say that.
You know what? I mean, I could, fuck. Like trust me, I got all kinds of stuff just like sitting around. If you want to talk about drugs are stupid, no, these are vitamin supplements. These are not illegal drugs. These are vitamin supplements. They're legal. Okay, I'm gonna end that joke right there.
Oh no, dude, people can do whatever they want. I'm never gonna tell people not to do things. I just, personally think it's all fucking stupid. I mean, I also think owning a white car is stupid. Like you bought the thing with the cheapest paint job because like it was like $200 cheaper. White cars are ugly. Like why save the $200 on the paint job? Seriously, like what the hell? There's 100 things I think are just fucking stupid. But like just happens to be that smoking's one of them.
They're supplements that make you see really pretty colors.
There are. And but then there's the other side of it too. Like I'm really enjoying watching all of the studies as they get stronger and stronger and a lot more clinical data backing up the use of MDMA and things like everything from
MDMA
for everything from PTSD support all the way back to a funny one I read a few months ago was them talking about specifically the use of MDMA in couples therapy and marriage counseling. Yeah. And what was funny about this article is they weren't talking about this as a new thing. They were talking about in the 70s for like a decade, all couples counselors and marriage counselors used to like offer it as a service. They would dose you with MDMA before having the counseling. And it wasn't stopped until it was added to the schedule by the government in their war on drugs. But for like a decade, MDMA was used as the couples counseling drug by like actual licensed like officials, like college professor types, like academics were using this as the drug to do that. And now we're kind of circling all the way back around to that being a thing again.
My wife hated MDMA because I made her feel good.
Some people are just like that, man. There's nothing you can do about that, Some people are just that way.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I was a fucking candy wearing, full on like.
I wasn't gonna say it, raver. But I knew the second you mentioned raving that you were a candy kid. I mean, like the second you mentioned it, I was like,
you know what? When I got swatted, I was in full on fucking candy. Or like, and also when CSIS sent a handler to my house to offer me a
different
job.
colors on your body at that point too.
When you like literally, I'm in fucking like full on candy. Like I got the spiked hair. I'm wearing fucking candy bracelets and fucking like green UFO pants. And this fucking CSIS agent is going in there to fucking offer me a salary, and I'm just like, you see what I look like, motherfucker?
Yeah. Which one of us is having more fun in life right now? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you said you had the hair spikes, right? Because then the correct move is, I am the future. I am the future.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh my God, man.
Good times.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've got that stupid hipster thing with the raves where, like, it's hard for me to talk about them because, like, living in Dallas, if you look up, like, the history of raves making it, like, big in North America, like, a lot of that started in a scene in this area called Deep Ellum in Dallas. And that was like in the late 80s, and I was going to those stupid warehouse parties, and they were all highly illegal, and they were getting busted by the cops, like, and we'd all run out the back.
Okay, I can't even mentally picture you, of all people, at a fucking warehouse party.
Oh, I was at all of them.
Being as abstinent as you are.
You have no idea how fun it is being around all these people who are so drugged up and acting like just fucking morons. Like, and I'm not even saying that to, like, insult them. Like, they were having a bunch of fun, and I was happy that they were having that much fun.
Yeah,
I was just having a bunch of fun interacting with people who were, like, that gone. Like, I found my own joy.
I would preload. I would just shove a whole bunch of fucking drugs. I would shove a whole bunch of drugs up my ass. I'd be fucking like flying by the time I got there. I'd bring $40 cash into me onto the fucking dance floor, and just like I'd bump into a guy and be like, "Hey, you want some shit?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, here we go."
Right?
They hand me a vial of ketamine. And I'm just yeah. And that was me when I was like 19 years old.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I had no problems with it, and I still have no problems with it. I just I got my enjoyment where I got it there. It was a lot of fun. And I never messed with them. Like, I was never like that totally sober guy who was giving them shit. Like, I could enjoy being around people who were that fucking far gone.
Sometimes, like I can tell you this
music in that environment too.
As a proponent of MDMA use, I can say that sometimes it is like having somebody that you could just talk to and open up to, that is baseline. That means the world.
Yeah,
it really, really fucking does. So you are one of those sweethearts that didn't judge, and you're just like, oh yeah, come on, all right,
dude.
Cool.
I wasn't standing on the wall there, Month and Ubis. I was out there dancing with them, having fun. I was just completely like straight while doing it. Like I was not on anything. So I wasn't as fluid as some of them whose like bodies weren't necessarily completely under their control anymore, and more their subconscious was like just going with the beat. But
I would usually get so fucked up that I couldn't even like be on the dance floor anymore, and I would have to go off to the side, and just like all of a sudden we're just like in this cuddle pile.
I would not end up on the wall like petting the wall, like thinking like something was coming from this or anything. I was not that guy. I had my fun. I loved those parties, dude.
And then I would go home and fucking ruin shit online. It was quite the juxtaposition, really. Yeah. I was a weird teenager.
Right, so many best friends for 30 seconds.
Yes. Oh.
But I mean, also, I had the plus of I had a big truck at that point that I could drive around, down there, and I would get it usually pretty close to wherever the party was. And literally, like, we went almost 6 months of every weekend the warehouse would get caught, or the location would get caught. The cops would come running in. We'd go jumping out windows out the back, and and everyone that remembered things like was looking for where I was, because they knew the vehicle that I jumped into the driver's seat in was going to be the safest one to currently be in. As we sped away from the cops. So like everyone, like I got a lot of love from the people who knew like they were safe getting away with me. So yeah, it was a fun environment.
That's good. Oh my God! Yes, being like, okay, this guy, just fucking keep your eye on this motherfucker. We need to get the fuck out. Just fucking follow him.
Yeah.
Follow him.
He's the only one walking straight. Good times. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Usually, but it's like me in my case, because I didn't drive or anything or have a driver. I would usually I would spend 3 or 4 hours walking all the way from the club district of Toronto back to my place. Towards if you know the Toronto area, I lived near Bathurst and Eglinton. So going from Queen and Bathurst to Bathurst and Eglinton with no transit service because the rave ended. Like I'm literally just I'm high as shit, and I'm just I'm listening to music on my iPod, and I'm just like fucking slumming it home, just slowly, like 2-3 hour walk, watching the sunrise come up. This it was the whole thing. It was practically a weekly ritual for me. And yes, Zizor Argus in the chat, the sketch venture. I've known that motherfucker since grade 5.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, like he knows. He fucking knows.
So in the chat, someone just brought up what's going on with Gab. I can tell you what's actually going on with Gab and why their web servers are currently down and showing error messages. It's because they have bad admins, and I can explain that even more. They are suffering under an amount of load that they were not expecting because they thought Parler wasn't going down, and so they're having massive scaling issues. Scaling issues, and so they are doing maintenance that they planned out like days ago to happen right now. But instead of showing like a maintenance page or a message saying we'll be right back, it's literally like they took the server down and they're showing their standard we can't connect to the damn server error page because they're stupid. They're really bad admins. They didn't put up any kind of there's nothing built into their system to show you a maintenance page. But this is expected downtime. Like it's like they're just not good at their job at all, like even slightly. Yeah. Jack Ashley does not scale.
That sounds like Gab, right?
Yeah, I mean, like,
I'm Jack's complete lack of surprise.
Yeah, I wish it was something else, but no, this should come like back up within a couple hours. It's from what I heard, it was going to be a big code update that would allow for better scaling, like something that stopped hitting the database so hard.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, since they don't have any programmers that understand scaling on the team, like I wonder. Yeah. Good times, right?
Oh God! Oh, don't say anything you shouldn't. Don't do it.
Yeah, really. I know.
Oh my God.
So now is the time where I show chat this, and I switch to another source of fun. Let me add a little media source here, and yes, this is happening. Don't avert your eyes. Don't think that this couldn't be possibly happening to you. Yeah, I turned off the sound for the video. Yeah, no.
It's still F.
No. It's fixed now.
They can't hear.
No, they can. They're just fucking with you. They're literally just fucking with you. Yeah. Very rarely can you trust the chat on that when it's online. I've learned this from watching videos on YouTube.
You listened. You didn't trust me when I tried to warn you about the tweet, Greg.
Well, that's because I looked at all the tweets I had sent and they were all fine, and then I remembered that there was one scheduled from Buffer, and that one was broken.
You should listen to the chat more, Greg.
I should. But the chat,
they love you, Greg. The chat loves you, Greg.
They really do. I feel it. I feel the love too. You know, we have 4K Rickroll now, and it just needs to be used again. It's a beautiful thing. Whoever did that, thank you. Indeed. Yeah. So now I've got that loaded up. It's not leaving. Expect it randomly.
See, you should just keep that in your OBS setup. And just
it's
keep
there.
That
it's
never
going away.
Yeah. This isn't. You're not going to get a monetization penalty, are you?
I don't think it's long enough. It's a loop of only 30 seconds or something.
Okay. I had to make sure.
We'll see what they say. I mean, if I get a strike, I get a strike. It's a multi-strike penalty thing. So, and the worst that they do right now on your first strike is they'll mute that part of the video.
Yeah. You gotta love copyright bots.
I mean, actually, I could just mute the sound, so all you see is the video.
Gotta fucking love those copyright bots, sons of bitches. They're real. It's not an AI. It's a person. You can fucking tangibly feel. You can fucking punch them in the face and be like, fuck your corporate interests, okay?
Not on Parler, they're not. It's robots. They're using that stupid, almost human moderation service that's, AI and machine learning.
Ah! Every day is Punch a Nazi Day.
Every day is Punch a Nazi Day. I was really glad that Alex was on board with that on Wednesday. He really, he definitely felt it.
Yeah.
Always remember, you just gotta wake up and know that when you woke up, it's a good day because it is National Punch a Nazi Day.
It's always National Punch and International Punch.
See, Kurt knows how to shoe on head, but you gotta understand that at a certain level, there are just people who aren't gonna do it for us. We're not all Kurt. Nice. Yeah, that was a fun interview. I mean, I really liked it. He's a good friend. He's an amazing guy.
You sent me money for hot sauce? I love you.
Nice. What's the story behind Shoe on Head? Oh boy.
It was originally keyboard on head.
It started as keyboard on head, much like the Rickroll started as the duck roll, and Sharpie and Pooper was something entirely different, but Sharpie became easier because someone did it.
I didn't even finish this can.
He's double fisting monsters. That's really bad for you, just so you know.
Everything I do is really bad for me. Do you think I care anymore?
So the story with Shoe on Head was just simply how do you prove that someone you see currently on video isn't a recording being played at you? And that's to ask them to put a shoe on their head, because at the time that was not a common thing. You were not going to find pictures of people who were taking their shoe off and putting it on their head. So if you asked someone to do that and they did it for you, you could be pretty damn sure for at least a couple years that this was not recorded video, that was a real human being.
Shoe
that
on
was
head
the idea.
Fake. Sharpie and Pooper is fake.
Yeah,
and the Sharpie and Pooper, that was when we were rating cam girl sites.
Yeah.
Because okay, I think this is recorded footage, and we're just chatting to an automaton.
Yep.
Yeah.
So put a Sharpie in your butt.
we had to come up with ways to like prove that the people we were talking to were actually like really there, because at that point people had made so many little video loops that were like perfect for being on like chat systems, where you had to kind of sit there and stare at the screen and like, am I? No, that's a recording. Sketchy. Wait a minute. No, that's a recording, everybody. But like you had to like do that, and sometimes you would be wrong. So like it just came down to like, okay, we're gonna need to start making people prove that they're fucking real.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it was crazy times. A lot of the shit, literally, like Shoe on Head, just came out of necessity at that point. Also, it was funny. I mean, like, when we got Adrian Chen, reporter at that point, to put on, he put on a pink tutu and Shoe on Head and danced for us before getting answers for a story. To which he was told, like, if you do this, the person who you need to talk to will show up and answer your questions. He did it. He really did. Like, I mean, you know, Adrian Chen is actually a really big piece of shit, but, like, he did that one thing.
That's the only good article on Gawker.
Yeah, it was definitely crazy, but he did it. You know, surprisingly. I was not expecting him to do it either. Like when
like straight up, just like here's me wearing a tutu with a shoe on my head because Anonymous made me do it.
Yeah, I mean, he even wrote in the article like, this is why I'm doing this currently, because like I don't really have a choice.
I want to see that hot data. I want to see those leaks. No, I gotta fucking embarrass myself for the internet to see. And that's how things should be. Never give it to them for free.
No. Make people work for things. Definitely.
Yes.
And for everyone who didn't want to figure out how to spell his name and all that and put all that together, there he is. There is Adrian Chen. He went and got a pink tutu. And then he put his Asics gels up on his head, and he got the answers to the story he was looking for. Like you know, it was one of those things where you didn't think he'd do it, so you said you'd give him the answers that you didn't want to give him, and then he did it, and you're like, well, no, you know, fuck it, you can have the answers.
Right here, you want to see the article? There's the article link in chat. Here's a picture of a guy wearing a tutu with a shoe on his head.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, what the hell, right? Yeah, you know, I have no idea why he put such a big shoe on his head. I think that was some kind of weird flex, because the dude, is not a big guy. He comes up to, like, here on me.
Maybe he didn't want to put a dirty shoe on his head, and he actually went and
like,
bought
wherever
a
the
brand
clean
new
shoe
pair
was
of
or
shoes.
something.
Yeah, he went to Sport Check or
like
something.
it was a roommate's shoe or something. Who knows? But, like, yeah, I always thought that was funny.
It does not wear size 13s, indeed.
Yeah.
That's a big fucking shoe. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you have been told to drink some water.
Oh.
I mean, we could take a short break if you gotta go get some water. If you gotta make this happen.
I'm good. I chugged water before this. Trust me, I'm fine.
Okay, well, drink water right afterward then.
Afterwards, yes, I will drink a lot of water, and I'm gonna ruin. I'm gonna do completely ethical things.
Of course. Yeah. So, what else is there going on right now? I mean, we've talked about almost everything today. I mean, I think everyone should definitely download the Myanmar files. Definitely seed them so everyone else can get them. And look through them. See what you find. A lot of reporters might be interested in this one because reporting on this one shouldn't cause them any major problems like reporting on the Blue Leaks would have, or at least how they thought it would.
To further that point, like Blue Leaks, people are still sifting through Blue Leaks.
They are. There is still stuff to be found. What about the Marilyn Manson allegations? Well, I mean, honestly, looking at the allegations themselves and looking at the various interviews, like you can watch some interviews. You can hear from other people around them at the time. My big thing there is that there's a real consistency to the story of abuse. There's a real good through line there where you don't see like the story changing at all. It really does indeed look like he absolutely did the abuse. So you always want to believe the abuser anyways, or the abused anyways, like the victim. You want to start like. You want to be there on the side of the possible victim, but you also want, like, look at the Johnny Depp case. You want to make sure that you do your due diligence and make sure, because turns out Amber Heard is a complete piece of shit and set him up and did all the bad shit. So I think Johnny should get his job back with, like, Pirates of the Caribbean and shit, like, but whatever. Disney is, Disney. But on this one, I honestly think Marilyn Manson did exactly it. So the Joss Whedon one also is interesting because, when the actress came out from the set of Buffy saying that Joss Whedon was problematic, her exact thing that she said was that not only was he problematic, but everyone knew about it, so there was actually a rule on set that he was not allowed to be left in a room alone with the young female actress. Like, if you were the third person in the room and the other two people were him and one of them, then you couldn't leave until he did or she did. Like, there was a rule on set because of him. And that was her claim. And one of the male actors from set actually came out a few days ago and spoke up to her side of it and said that was absolutely true, and that he was that third guy sometimes in the room and had to stay there. So turns out Joss Whedon also, they keep falling.
Yeah,
and I'm glad they keep falling. I just wish they weren't so bad in the first place.
See, and then I guess in the whole like dirty thing is just like cancel culture and stuff being conflated with that level of stuff. It's like, no, like cancel culture should be reserved to complete utter shitbags like that. Just because somebody said some no stuff in the past.
Oh yeah, sure. A 13-year-old tweet that you've kind of completely changed your views and you've shown through your efforts, through your work, through your actions, not just words,
I know
that you're different.
Exactly. Know that.
But in that situation where you have proven to the world who you are today in a way that is very, very defined and clear, that yes, don't cancel someone for like 2 or 3 tweets from 13 years ago. However, if there's like 5 years of that material online and then today they're just saying I've changed, fuck that guy. Because, that guy's still who they were. If it took that long of them, being online saying that shit before they realized they shouldn't say that shit anymore. It wasn't that they changed. It was that they realized it was a problem for them.
Yeah. From the end of 2014 on, I have caught untold amounts of shit from people saying like, oh no, he's gone SJW. 2014. It's a long fucking time. That's 7 years at this point.
Yeah.
And for that, I say to all you, go fuck yourselves.
Damn straight.
Trust me. Like, as far as my sense of humor and sensibilities go, like, yeah, sure. Like, I still have an off-color sense of humor, or I'm able to find humor in things that people would find offensive even to this day. But I am much more sensible about all of that shit. I understand the context and the damage that certain types of humor have dealt to global society and the discourse, quote unquote, in general. And basically, yeah, go fuck yourselves. Like, you're not gonna see me making fucking Jew, black, and Holocaust jokes left and right. Like, seriously, come on now, fuck off.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean,
like, we've seen the damage that allowing this stuff to go unfettered has done to the internet and general society. Bad actors radicalizing motherfuckers, using those as an entry point. And if you try and give me shit for it, you can go to hell.
Agreed. Also,
yeah. like SJW as a purview, social justice warrior, How is that even supposed to be pejorative? Like,
well,
oh my god!
It was people. It was a self descriptor that people were using, and it was for people that were like it became pejorative because the people that were calling themselves that in certain spaces were people that weren't really activists. They were basically shit posters in a very specific niche.
They were woke shit pokers. Yeah. Woke shit posters.
And so the idea that they were a warrior when they were really just shit posting was why it was so ridiculous.
And they were indeed Karens.
Then it turned to literally anyone that cares about anything is a social justice warrior. And now the term just doesn't mean anything whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. Good times. So I am kind of feeling done here tonight. I want to get some food. I ate a late lunch, so like I ate at like 3:30, so like that's why I didn't eat dinner beforehand. But I'm not feeling like it's about dinner time. So I think we're gonna call the stream. But before we just hang up here on everybody, if anyone's got any other quick topics they want us to talk about, we can. A few more minutes.
Yeah, quick. I'm gonna dump some addresses again in the fucking chat.
Please do. Please do.
So actually, funny thing, there is a comrade whose entire thing is, and I love him to death. Very skilled hacker, so on and so forth. His whole thing is like. He sends me money and he's like, I will send you money, but only under the purview of you're going to buy alcohol and drugs with this.
Cannot be used for anything responsible.
Cannot be used for anything responsible. So when you see me tearing it up, I want you to remember that there is somebody that is very specifically only spending me money with the under the auspices of negating my sobriety, and literally anything else goes to actually my fucking life. And I'm so extra with this because he wants to make sure that I'm holding to this contract. He sends me like $100. He's like, I want you to spend this on chemicals to take away the pain. I'm like, yep. Okay. All right,
Kurt,
fine.
Looking at that penner, I think he needs to do an audit to make sure you're using those funds in an appropriate manner.
Shut the fuck! Like I'm running low. Like he hasn't sent me anything to re-up, so I'm rationing myself here. So don't even. And if you see this, I fucking love you. You take the suffering out of my life, and everybody else is helping me, pay my rent and so on and so forth. And you're all fucking awesome. And yes, God bless this man. Yeah, this guy really is a saint. Because trust me, I'm responsible enough to not be spending my money on things like this if I really need to. Indeed. But given the person that sent it to me, yeah, I'm gonna fucking listen. So there it is.
And I promised chat that after last week I would reach out to Kurt the very next day and bother him until he responded about going to the grocery store, and
which I did,
and I did too. He can verify that I did exactly what I told you I would. Yeah, so definitely hook it up there. All the help you can. Yeah, and sub to the channel. There's 100 of you watching, or more. I don't know. The view counter on Twitch is never accurate, so somewhere near that. So definitely some subs and follows and all that fun stuff. Thanks for all the tips, cheers, follows, subs, everything tonight. This has been great. We will come back next week with some post stuff too, because a lot of the news will come out over the next week about what's going on with the Myanmar stuff, what happened with the Indian stuff. There'll be a lot of publications for us to talk about, some things that couldn't be disclosed yet.
Yes. We got the Bitcoin. We got the doggy.
definitely join us on Discord. For anyone that cares, I'm actually gonna go play some Minecraft now. So I'll be over on the server. Our Minecraft server is actually using one of my better domains because I thought it would be funny. Our Minecraft server is espionage.io. So default port, all that fun stuff. No griefing, don't be an asshole. Have fun DDoSing it. I'd love to see you try. Please. I mean, yeah, good times. So anyways, we're gonna go have some fun on that because I'm gonna eat dinner and play games. That was a fun show, everyone. I had fun with that. We will be back on Monday. I have Molly Jong Fast of one of the editors at the Daily Beast.
Wait! You got an editor with the Daily Beast coming
on Monday?
On Monday, I think that whole Keybase thing that I mentioned is going to be publishing on Daily Beast. Just to let you know.
I know. We're gonna have a fun conversation.
Wait. You know?
I know all kinds of fun things. It's kind of like when I tell you things.
John,
it's kind of like when I tell you all kinds of fun things and you're like, oh yeah? And then you tell me what you know already and I'm like, we have too many people surrounding our orbits that know things. But anyways, so Molly John Fast is coming on Monday, and that'll be fun because we get to not only talk about like current events, but we also, I really have some questions about like what it's been like to try and edit a paper that spends a lot of time calling out the current, leadership in government under Trump and all that. Like being the editor, how much work had to go into the fact checking and all the other stuff and just all that type of stuff. I want to know what it's been like over the last couple of years for the work she's been doing. On Wednesday, we've got Brian Knappenberger coming on. The director of We Are Legion, Internet's Own Boy. Yeah?
Hey, he stopped replying to my DMs. I got some words to mince with that man.
He loves you. He watched a couple of the episodes with you. He's just super fucking busy. Like sometimes he won't respond to me sometimes for like 4 or 5 days. Then he'll say, I literally had my phone turned off for 4 days while I was in the editing booth.
He probably didn't fucking believe me at first.
Oh, no, and we're going to talk about a lot of that, too. Okay. I'll make sure he's up to speed. Be in the chat for that.
I will be in the chat
for that. It's the director of We Are Legion. We should have all of these people in the chat, because it's going to be fun. There's some stories there.
I reached out to him like fall 2020. Or not fall 2019, sorry.
Yep.
So...
So we'll talk about all that fun stuff. And for anyone in the chat, it is Bedrock Edition, like San Antonio said for the Minecraft later. But anyways, I'm gonna get some food, play some games. Anyone who wants to join us, by all means. This was awesome. Good night, everyone. See you all either in chat on Discord or on Monday night.